floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Danica Littlechild. I'm going to make a very brief statement on item 7A before handing the mic to William Means of IITC. We congratulate Mr. Sennett on his appointment as chair to this session. As we are all aware, being recognized as Indigenous peoples with an S in the UN Declaration took years to negotiate and is a core principle in the second preambular paragraph of the UN Declaration. In January of this year, the Minamata Convention on Mercury was adopted by states in Geneva, which used the term Indigenous communities and not Indigenous peoples. This is the first multilateral treaty to be negotiated since the UN Declaration was adopted by UN resolution in 2007 and sets a terrible precedent in international law for us as Indigenous peoples. We strongly recommend that the Permanent Forum express their concern regarding this matter and officially communicate to the UN Environmental Programme and state parties their obligations under Article 42 of the UN Declaration. I now hand the mic to William Means.
Thank you, Ms. Littlechild, and I give greetings to both the Special Rapporteur and our Acting Chair, who has tremendous patience. Some of you have been here for years. Recall one of our allies by the name of Ms. Erica Dias. She didn't have such patience when people spoke over their time, so I'll try to keep within the time. So congratulate you. I come here standing with the women of Oaxaca in solidarity to introduce the idea of our indigenous human rights defenders. Many of our defenders are killed or imprisoned for decades. Their families are also victims of persecution. We raise the case of Leonard Peltier as a cornerstone of our unity as nations, cultures, and peoples in respect for the rule of law, which was violated in his case. There are many Leonard Peltiers in the world of Indigenous peoples today. There are many Leonard Peltiers in the making. We ask the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues to undertake a study in the relevant UN bodies on the problems and the human rights violations of human rights defenders who have been killed or languish in prison, in order that the world understand the enormity of this problem and the real impediments to the implementation of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. I also must admonish the distinguished representative of the United States this morning for constantly referring to the UNPFII as a non-binding aspirational document. We, as members of treaty tribes in the United States, treaties are written into Article 6 of the Constitution of the United States, which have the full authority of domestic and international law, but are considered non-binding aspirational documents by the United States. So this is not a very long history of their policies towards Indigenous people here in the United States. Thank you, Madam Chair.